Welcome to an overview of myNG Connect for World Cultures and Geography. www.myngconnect.com is the web portal for many things National Geographic learning. As you look at the home page, you'll notice there's an opportunity for students to log in on the left side of the screen and an opportunity for teachers to log in on the right side of the screen. As this walkthrough will be for teachers, let's go ahead and log in. If you do not know your login information, please contact your campus tech administrator so that they can provide that information to you and then return to this tutorial. I have several pages open, but I do want to begin, of course, with the one for World Cultures and Geography. Just spending a few moments looking at the menu. Along the left margin of the page at the top, you'll notice the name of the product we are using. If you'll follow the cursor all the way to the right side, you should see your name and the product that you are using. If by chance you happen to use more than one product from National Geographic, you will see all of the products you use listed below. You probably will not have as many as you see on my screen, but if you have more than one, this is where you will find them. To the right of your name, you're going to find a menu bar. The menu bar that you see actually is represented across the screen here. And as I move through each of the different elements I'll be sharing with you today, I'll actually access them from here. While this menu bar is open, I would like to share with you at the very bottom, there is a help button. So if you need help beyond this tutorial, please feel free to reach out and we'd be able to help you. When you are in the website itself, if you ever need to return home, you can hit this home button and it will get you back to this page. Since we're already here, there won't be a change. So let's talk about this. Anywhere you click within this image here at the top of the screen, you are going to find your e-editions. Your e-editions are indicative of your teacher's editions and all of its resources, the teacher's reference book, as well as the student book in either English or Spanish or both. Spending just a moment in your teacher's editions, we strongly recommend that you always begin the year with the unit entitled The Essentials of Geography. This text will provide for your students resources they will use throughout the year. That's why we recommend you begin with this unit. After you complete the Essentials of Geography unit, you are free to put the book in any order you choose. If you want to begin with North America, then you move right into North America. If you want to begin with East Asia, then you would start with East Asia after the Essentials of Geography. I am going to spend just a moment in the student book so that you can see the table of contents, because I think it's just really nice for you to see that from this standpoint. I'll open up the table of contents and move specifically to that, and you'll see there are other resources that are available to you. When I go into the table of contents, I personally prefer to see it in a two-page spread format as you see here, but you are welcome to show that in a single-page view by clicking this icon here. While we are in this single page view, let's talk about content. Within that first unit, the Essentials of Geography, you'll notice there are two chapters. In the majority of the units of this text, there will be two chapters. One teaching the history of the region, the second teaching that region today, and I'll show that to you momentarily. In the Essentials of Geography, basic things that we are providing, helping you provide your students with. The Geographer's Toolbox, where we're helping teach them to think spatially, themes and elements, how to read a map, different types of maps. You'll also see when we move to Chapter 2, we teach them physical and human geography. To the right of this table of contents, you will find the Tech Trek. And within the Tech Trek, you and your students have access to the digital library, the photo gallery, maps and graphs, as well as interactive whiteboard activities. I will page through, I'm going to put this back in the double page view, and I'll page through the table of contents for just a couple of minutes because I want you to see and notice the consistency that is there. We will use Chapter 9 as we move through the unit today, but as we look at Unit 9, you'll notice Chapter 17 is South Asia and its history, and Chapter 18 would be South Asia today. And you'll notice within the unit, we are covering all of those elements of social studies your students need: geography, history, culture, government, and economics. You'll also notice that Tech Trek that I mentioned a moment ago. This will be consistent for every single unit of this program, no doubt. So let me go back, let me return to the home page. Nope, let me not return home yet. I want you to notice we are going to go into, from the student book, Unit 9. And I'm going to type the beginning of that page, the beginning unit of that page number, and hit enter on my keyboard. I do this specifically to help you now. If you type in a number on the page, on the screen, and hit your return key, it will jump to that page. If you type a number here, I'm going to put 466 back here again, but this time I'm going to hit the arrow to the right. You'll notice it's only going to turn the next page. So make sure if you are jumping to a page number, you indicate that page number, then hit enter on your keyboard. This page is exactly like what students will see in the student book. If ever a need to do distance learning, you have the opportunity to continue with instruction because your students can log into their accounts from home and see the entire book in front of them online. A couple of things that I will point out for you when students are online. There is video support for the region at the beginning of every unit, and then there's also video support to meet the Explorer associated with that unit. There's also audio support. Whenever you see the audio speaker, know that that's audio support. When we are online, students can view additional images. The 2-page spread will always show a beautiful image of the region, but if we were to click on the little photo camera image, we're going to get additional photos that students will be able to see, and you'll notice there's always a caption to support that image. If students are doing projects, they can even download these images and use them for their projects. I'll close this now because I do want to show you one very important thing within the student text. As we are within the student text, again, the audio support is going to be there, but there's also something here called modified text. That modified text can be accessed using this MT that you see at the top of the screen. The benefit of the modified text is for those students who are struggling reading the text, we modify the text approximately 2 levels below grade level. So when I activate the modified text, you'll notice the screen will change slightly. Notice the MT before every paragraph. That means that when I click this MT, there's going to be modified text support. It does not change the text in the printed book, but it provides as an option the modified text. So I click it and I'm going to put it side by side so that you can see it as I'm continuing to talk to you. This is the same information that is here, but in a modified version to help those students who are struggling with the text. I can move to the next paragraph of modified text here, or I can just move to the next paragraph by clicking the next button here. And it will take me through all of the paragraphs providing me that modified text. So that's something important for you to know so that you can share that with your students who might need that modified text. When we are in the student book, we also can take notes and highlight text and get back to any portion of the content that we like, the table of contents or the full books. Because we are in the teacher's edition, I'm going to click teacher login, I should say. I'm going to click that home button so that we get back to the home page. Again, if you want to find any of your teacher's editions and or the student book, click this image here. Now, let's talk about your teacher tools. These are resources that are available to you on myngconnect.com. And I will not go into every single one of them. I will touch upon those that I know you will use. Number one, let's start with that digital library. The digital library is a great resource to provide you with additional images that you could use in the classroom. We looked at Unit 9, so I'm going to click on Unit 9, and I see there are 6 pages of additional images or music or atlases that I could use relative to South Asia. If I click on one of them, that image is going to come up on my screen, and it's also going to have a caption that's available for me that I can download and use within instruction. Sometimes you might see music, sometimes you might see an atlas. As I turn through the pages, of course I won't open them all, there are just a plethora of images available to you to use for your instruction. That is found within your digital library. The next thing that I am going to share with you is your class management. Class management allows you to change students' passwords, look up students' passwords, see that information about your class. When you click the class management, it actually is going to open up in our user management console. The user management console is where you are going to be able to find all of your information. As you see, I'm not logged in right now, but there is on our professional development page, which you'll see in a moment, the opportunity for you to go in and get some extra training on the user management console. I would like to spend some time with your interactive whiteboard activities. When you open up these interactive whiteboard activities, if you are fortunate enough to have in your classroom a Promethean board or a smart board, you are going to find these resources by unit ready to go. So if I am looking in Unit 9, I see my resources for Promethean as well as for Smart. But if you are like me and you don't have access to an interactive whiteboard, don't panic, because you have these very same activities listed in your resources, and they're called geo activities. So this first activity that you see here for Unit 9, draw a mental map of South Asia. When I go back into my website, draw a mental map of South Asia, available for me in Promethean and or Smart. So you have the same resource, just available in a PDF format when you use the geo activities. And just so you know, this PDF format is actually in the back of your teacher's edition, print ready to go. So you could take your teacher's edition to the copier, copy this resource exactly as you see it here without having to download it or print it, copy it from your teacher's edition, and you would have the activity ready for your students to do. Let's return home again. From the home page, so we've looked at the digital library, briefly at class management, and the interactive whiteboard activities. Before I go on, yes, let me talk to you about professional development. A lot of resources here on demand for you. There are resources that provide for you support for learning routines, vocabulary strategies, best practices, and even a classroom observation tool. The on-demand button itself, probably where you accessed this video, will provide additional videos for you as well. Getting started for teachers, getting started for students, And I just spoke about getting started with that user management console so that you know how to access those tools that you have within the user management console. So I'm going to close again the professional development and show you a few more things. Number one, your assessment resources. You have a plethora of assessments that are available to you. Nice thing is you can access them here online or right in the back of your teacher's edition, ready to go to the copier. Just as you saw those geo activities in your resource bank in the back of your teacher's editions, you have these resources available to you. Standardized practice tests, you have section quizzes, you have formal assessment, A and B. So a lot of resources that are available to you here. Going home one more time, I do want to spend just a moment in your maps and graphs so that you know the resources here. There are available maps through the Online World Atlas for each particular unit that are available to you in a PDF form. You also have outlines of maps available to you for the regions that you are studying, so that if you want your students to complete the map, you have just a basic outline map that's available for you. One more thing that I will show you under maps and graphs very quickly is the interactive map tool. The interactive map tool allows your students to create an interactive map. Very user-friendly, easy to learn. I won't take the time to walk you through it today, but there are tools and resources that you can use. You can choose the area that you want to create the map of. You can add different layers to the map. You can even show your students the different types of maps that they can see. And there's all kinds of legends and data that you could use for that map as well. One more thing that I will share with you or actually two more things, forgive me, two more things. Let's start with the teacher resources. Your teacher's edition has everything that you need right within that teacher's edition. There's a resource section at the back of your TE that will provide you with all of these resources you see online. So no matter the unit you go into, I'll choose Unit 4. Different charts and infographics that are available to you. You've already seen the geo activities. There's support for writing. There are reading and note-taking guides, quizzes, assessments, practice for standardized tests, vocabulary practice, and your core content presentations. If you are a teacher who likes to use PowerPoint, we have already created these PowerPoint presentations for each unit and each chapter of this program. Once you download these, you can edit them to meet your needs. You can add more information to them. You can take information out that is there, but you can have your lesson plans set with those core content presentations that are already created and available to you. I would highly recommend when you download one of them, and you'll see it, that you label it specifically by what you want to call it. Otherwise, it's just going to say, have an opportunity for a group of numbers, but if you call it Unit 4, Chapter 7, Unit 4, Chapter 8, you'll know specifically what you have that you've saved. I would also recommend, if you want to use them, that you go ahead and download them early so that you have access to them just in case the internet goes out, because we know that will happen. Let's return home one more time, because there is something that I'd like to share with you in your teacher's edition that I didn't do when we were there. So in order to access my teacher's edition again, I'm going to click here, click on the books, and I am going to choose South Asia, because that's the unit that we've been in, and I am going to start at the beginning of the unit. It just opened it up where I was. I'm going to start at the beginning of the unit. So you see exactly what students see. You'll notice you don't see the support for the videos, nor do you see the audio support, because we are really now in the teacher's edition. Those things are a part of the student edition. Even those extra images that were here are a part of the student edition. Let's turn the page. You'll find your chapter planner that gives you all of your section support, all of your assessment support, and all of your tech support. In your section support, remember I talked to you when we were in the resources about your reading and note-taking guide, your vocabulary practice, and that geo activity. Again, all of these are in the back of your teacher's edition. Let me turn through a couple of these and get to the last page of your planner and notice your assessment opportunities. Again, all of these, I showed them to you online. You also have them in the back of your teacher's edition, and you also have them on the ExamView test generator. Benefit of the test generator, you can edit those assessments and you can add to those assessments with that ExamView test generator. Let's go ahead and turn one more page because I want you to see your differentiations for strategies for differentiation. At the beginning of every single one of your chapters, you will find a 2-page spread like this. It supports your striving readers, your students' inclusion, your students who are English language learners, gifted and talented, as well as pre-AP. This is going to be standard at the beginning of every chapter. You will find this also at point of use within instruction, and I'll show that to you momentarily. Let's turn another page, and when we turn the next page, we're at the beginning of the chapter. Looks like the student book is here, and then you find your teaching support, your tech track, introducing the chapter, introducing the essential questions, and introducing that vocabulary. I want to get to one of the core lessons so that you can see what a basic lesson has for support. Again, not only do you see the student edition, but you see your plan with your objectives, your tech track, background information for you, the teacher, your introduce and engage, and then your teach. No matter the lesson, that's going to be consistent, the core lessons. One more time. Your plan, your background, your introduce and engage, your teach. You also will notice that differentiation that's at point of use so that you have to provide your students. One more thing that I'll show you on your teacher page are these active options. Every single lesson that you have in world cultures and geography will provide you with active options so that you can get your students up and moving within the classroom so that they're not just sitting and getting information, but they are actively involved in the lesson. And so you'll find that for every portion of your lesson. This printed teacher's edition or this electronic teacher's edition you are looking at looks exactly like your printed teacher's edition. It's just found in an electronic format. So even if you happen to leave all of your TEs at school, you have access to every single one of them online. I hope that this has been very beneficial to you. I know it's been quick, but I wanted to highlight a few things that were available to you online so that you can always come back and reference this. Again, if you need additional support, you can click the menu bar and there is a help button so that you can get some tech support from our tech group. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy your year with world cultures and geography.